outside of Bloemfontein. They were en route to a Women's Day event.
The role played by the women of this country in the struggle against apartheid and in all kinds of discrimination cannot be taken for granted, thus is recognized, acknowledged and supported by this government. This year's Women's Parade takes place in different dimensions as we also acknowledge all women in the Department of Defense who have lost their lives in the line of duty. It is thus unfortunate that last month on Women's Month, a tragedy befell the Department of Defense family, where 11 of our female members lost their lives in a tragic bus accident here in the Free State. This was a blow, in that the incident occurred on the same day we were commemorating our Women's Day military parade on Friday on the 19th of August. Simultaneously, during the time, as we were also marking an important feature in our country's history, the 350th year of the passing of Unifor. Thus, a conscious decision was taken to have today's event here and use this occasion to acknowledge and pay tribute to all those female members who lost their lives in the entire organization. This also meant that this event we are having today had to be postponed to allow ourselves to grieve the loss we had suffered last month, but more so remember those who lost their lives before this tragic incident. Therefore, today gives us an opportunity to publicly acknowledge all women in the Department of Defense, both serving and non-serving, who have passed on. It is important that we honor these fallen heroines and remind ourselves for the sacrifices they have made by laying down their lives for the betterment of our country and for their contribution to a better Africa and a better world. It is quite symbolic that such a tragedy happened to women who were deployed at the Demobilization Center here in at Tibet, a center that epitomizes the South African National Defense Force readiness for deployment in many theaters.
Okay, sir.
They were preparing to lay down their lives in pursuit for peace and security and development for humanity globally. There is no doubt that these members died in line of duty and must be celebrated and acknowledged together with the rest. We must pay a fitting tribute as well as we today for the role these and other members and recognize their contribution in the defense force. We must recognize all our fallen members by ensuring that their legacy and the role they played in our defense force is an everlasting one. We will remember them. Program Director, as we remember these fallen heroes, we must recognize their contribution they have made and still continue to make in nation building and by ensuring a strong defense force which is fully representative of the men and women of our nation. In this regard, South Africa has made significant progress in achieving the emancipation and equal rights for women in our country. Our country has moved from a history where women suffered oppression based on their gender, race, and class to one where gender equality is now a constitutional imperative. Legislation has been put in place to create an enabling environment for women and to improve their participation in any sector of our society, including the defense force and in particular the mainstream of our economy. Due to the sacrifice of many unsung heroes and heroines, we now live in a country governed by a constitution which recognizes women as equal citizens with equal rights and responsibilities. We are eternally grateful to those who fought tirelessly for the emancipation of women. However, we are still faced with many challenges and much more still needs to be done. Women's empowerment and the promotion of gender equality is the key to achieving sustainable development. Greater gender equality can enhance economic efficiency and improve other developmental outcomes by removing barriers that prevent women from having the same access as men to human resource development, rights, and economic opportunities. Giving women access to equal opportunities allows them to emerge as social and economic actors, influencing and shaping more inclusive policies. Improving women's status also leads to more investment in their children's education, health, and overall well-being. Program Director, allow me this opportunity to remind you that South Africa is taking part in the 16th year of the Global 16 Days of Activism for No Violence Against Women and Children campaign, which runs from the 25th of November up to the 10th of December 2016 and ends on the International Human Rights Day. His Excellency President Jacob Zuma will officially launch this campaign on the 25th of November at Rayford Park in Edinburgh. South Africa is still home to high levels of violence against women and children, despite the fact that the Constitution safeguards women and children's rights. The Department of